I'm a mum from Australia. I've been to Disneyland a few times with my daughter, and today I wanted to make you a video comparing the Disneylands that I've been to so you can decide which one is best for you and your family. I'm comparing Japan, Hong Kong, and Orlando. First, starting off with Japan. So, Tokyo Disneyland. Now, to get to Japan, the flight is a direct flight for 10 hours from Australia. That's from Melbourne or Sydney. I'm sure you can find shorter flights from Cairns. Usually, we go with a Jetstar flight, which stops over in Cairns. So, it will be around 3-4 hours to Cairns. A bit of a stopover there, and then like a 7-hour flight to Japan. I like this flight because I always get this flight when it's the return for free sale. So I will get these flights for around $400 return. So for me and my daughter, that's under $1,000 for us for return flights there and back. And I feel like that's a really great value. The time difference is only a 2-hour time difference. So once you get there, you're not too jet lagged. You're not too, oh God, what day is it? You can pretty much hit the ground running depending on how you went on your flight. Now, with the Tokyo Disneyland, there are two parks. So there's a Disneyland and a Disney Sea. They are next door to each other. The Disney Sea is the only Disney Sea in the world, so that's exclusive to Japan. The entrance fee is $98 per adult. $82 for a junior ticket, which is 12 to 17 years old, and there is no other junior tickets in any other parks. And it is $58 per child for 4 to 11, and then it's free for under 4. Now, I've gone with my daughter, I think 3 times when she was under 4. The first time she was 2 years old, and even at 2, she was able to go on a majority of the rides, and she was able to enjoy the rides. So it was a great value to get her in for under 4 years old. She was still able to go on the rides and have a great time, and it was all for free just for my ticket. So I was really happy with that. Now, the Disney ears are around 25 Australian dollars. Maybe you can find some that are probably a bit pricier or a bit less depending on like the theme, like if it's Halloween or Christmas or something, but they are roughly around the $25 mark. Snacks around the park are rather cheap. Ranging from $4 to $6, and that could be the popcorn, not in the special case, just the popcorn by itself. That could be the churros, like ice creams, ice lollies, things like that around the park. There are vending machines around the park, and we found bottles of water for like $2, and you can find like Cokes and everything else for like $3, like really relatively cheap compared to other Disneylands. Now, for our meals, we always eat at like this space restaurant near the Baymax area. I get a burger meal, which is a burger, chips, and a drink, and my daughter gets a nuggets meal, which is 6 nuggets, and they're shaped like Mickey Mouse's head, chips, and a drink, and then together that comes, I can't remember exactly, but it's definitely under $50. I would say around $30, but just in case I'm wrong, definitely not over 50. Another special thing about this park is that the Beauty and the Beast ride is exclusive to this park. The Beauty and the Beast ride is one of the best rides I've been on. It's really a family favorite of ours, and I really can't recommend it enough. And that is only at the Japan Disneyland. Um, and also, something that I've really noticed, and I took it for granted when I had only been to this park, was that this is a very efficient park. Like when you are in line, the lines are moving, like even if there is a bit of a wait, like you are moving. When you are lining up for food, the lines are moving, things are moving, and everyone that works there is just so in character, but they're also so efficient. And it just makes the whole day like not really feel very draining, because even when you are waiting, like everything's flowing. There's really good, organization in the park. Um, Now I need to mention Disney Sea, which, as I said, is next to Tokyo Disney. There's like a monorail, like a Disney monorail that you catch from one to the other, and that's all decorated like with the Mickey windows and everything. That's really cute too. Now, the Disney Sea, as I said, is the only one in the world, and it does have exclusive rides to Disney Sea. It is the same entrance price, and the food and the merch, everything is the same across the two. What I will mention though, oh, actually, I want to quickly say, instead of there being a castle for the main feature, it's a big volcano, and it erupts like every hour or so. And there's like an Italian area, there's a New York area, there's like a Cape Cod area. They've done a really fantastic job with that. But to get to like most of the smaller kids rides, it's kind of like way at the back of the park. So it is a bit of a walk. You do walk through beautiful areas to get there, but if you can't be bothered, because usually we do Disneyland day one, then Disney Sea day two, we're a bit tired. We found that there's like little trams or even little boats that you can take that take you from one section of the park to the other. That's obviously all for free. But yeah, so you can hop on a little tram or a little boat and take you over to the kids section. Now, the key features of the kids section is Ariel's underwater palace. I've got that pictured up on the screen. So you actually enter the palace, you go down, like it kind of winds down, and then there's like all these like really cool kids rides like underneath. It's meant to be like an underwater thing, and all the rides are like jellyfish and like fish rides. They're really cute. Across from this there is Aladdin's area, so like Jasmine, they got like magic carpet rides. It looks beautiful. And then right across from that is the new Disney Springs area, which has a Frozen area, a Rapunzel area, and a Tinkerbell area. With the Frozen, it's one ride, Rapunzel is one ride, and then Tinkerbell, it's one Tinkerbell ride and one Peter Pan ride. Now we've been twice when the Disney Springs have opened, but we weren't able to go on any of the rides because they were all over like 2-3 hours, and we were not waiting that long per ride. But even just walking around the area was beautiful. But the last time we were there was April 2025, so I'm hoping that by now, like people have gone on the rides, they've calmed down, and next time we go, it shouldn't be too crazy. Like the hype should have like calmed down by then. Okay, next on the list is Hong Kong Disneyland. Now, to get from Australia to Hong Kong, it is a 9 hour direct flight. Again, that is from Melbourne. I'm sure you can find shorter flights from further up. Again, the time difference is 2 hours, so it's not too bad. But it is only one park, and it is the smallest Disneyland in the world. So in terms of value, it's not as much as what you would get going to another park. And the entrance fee is actually also a bit higher. So the adult is 122. There is no junior ticket. The child is 93. So once again, more expensive, and the child age is from 3 to 11. So if you're 3 years old in Japan, it's still you go enter for free, but in Hong Kong 3 have to pay, and then under 3 is for free again. The ears are also more expensive, ranging at $30 to $40. The foods and the drinks, I can't remember how much they were exactly, but I remember they were pricier than Japan, but it wasn't like too crazy. um Something that was a real standout about this park was the Frozen World. This was actually the very first Frozen World out of all the parks. And they've got two rides, and there's like merch shops, and there's like an Arendelle restaurant, and it was really cute. They did a really good job with the Frozen World. Um, the lines weren't too bad, but no, it was a really good experience. And that frozen area, even from the outside, was way more like it was bigger. There was more stuff to it than the one in Disney Sea. But I will mention that this park wasn't as efficient. Even as we were on the actual rides, a few times they had stopped like halfway. And I don't know what had happened, but we were just sitting there like, okay, what's going on? It wasn't scary or anything, but it was just like, okay, something's not running smoothly. I've also noticed that a lot of the people working there weren't as in character as the Japanese were. And also, a really funny thing was, like, even though the park had opened, um, there was a lot of stalls and rides and areas that weren't open. So you could enter and then still have to be waiting till like 10:30, 11 for like other things to open. So I don't know, that was just a bit weird. Like, you think, okay, you're paying for your ticket, things should be open and ready. But there you go. Okay, finally, we went to Disney World Orlando. Now, this one, oh gosh, was a bit of a big flight. I looked it up because it was a over 24-hour flight. For us, how we got there was we caught a flight to Hawaii from Melbourne, which was 10 hours. I did this because I found a sale through Jetstar. It was a direct flight for like $230. So I thought that was too good of a deal to pass up. And then from Hawaii, we spent a few days there, like, trying to adjust to some time difference. And I thought that should ease us for by the time we got to Orlando. It did not. I was still wrecked by the time we got to Orlando. But from Hawaii, we caught a domestic flight to Orlando. And that was, I think, around 14 hours. Was it? I don't know, but it was a very long flight and I was wrecked. So, yeah, it's a 24-hour flight plus stopovers. So, I don't know how long that will take you depending on your flight. It was a 14-hour time difference. Like I said, we had a stopover in Hawaii, but no, by the time we got to Orlando, I was so out of it. Like maybe that's what contributed to my critique of Disney World. But by the time I was there, I was done, and it wasn't a matter of fact of a few days I'll be over it. Like when we've gone to Europe. A few days I'm okay. But this one, I don't know why, it wrecked me. Now, with Disney World, there are four parks. There's the main Disneyland park, which is Magic Kingdom. There is Epcot, which is more like a China section, a Japan section, an England section, a France section, and it's very much focused on food. Apparently, they've got great food there. There's a Hollywood Studios one, and then there's Animal Kingdom. Um, so they're all different themed, and they're not very close to each other because even like when we went to Magic Kingdom, just to enter, like to get into Magic Kingdom, oh my gosh, like you have to catch a boat over. Like it, it was just so far. It's so big. It is the biggest one out of any Disneyland. Um, Now the entrance fee for one park, it's $270. Sorry, it's $267 for an adult, $259 for a child, and that's 3 to 9. So above 9, you need to pay adult price. And that's not much of a difference between an adult ticket and a child ticket. Okay, under three is for free, but still, that was definitely the most expensive park. Now, because it's Disney World, there's a few different worlds to go to, a few different parks to go to. We just opted to go with the park hopper to go for two parks. I thought four parks was probably a bit much. It would have been a bit full on and it was, quite expensive. So we went with the 2-day park hopper, which was $550 Australian per person. And we decided to go with Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom because that just sounded more like what my daughter would like. The ears were around 50 to 70 Australian dollars. The water, I actually found bottles of water for around 7 Australian dollars, which I thought was insane. And I even spotted an ice cream for $25. We did have a burger meal and a nugget meal. That's just like our go-to Disney meal, and it was around 100 Australian dollars, not 100 US, but by the time we did the conversions and everything at that time, it was around 100 Australian dollars. And what I did notice is that whilst it was impressive and it was huge, a lot of the rides are actually the same rides, like Jungle Cruise. I don't know, like a few of the other rides, sorry, they were all really rather similar or the same as the ones in Hong Kong and Japan. Like they're like the same rides across the Magic Kingdoms in different parks. Like, does that make sense? So they're the same rides across the Disneyland parks. So whilst there was a few exceptions of different rides, it wasn't something that was like, oh my gosh, you have to specifically come to the one in Orlando. Like, yes, it's bigger. Yes, it looked cool, but the rides weren't like anything that much different to what you would get in Japan. Also, it was not efficient at all. Even just waiting for like our drink, our food, there was no order. It was just chaos. I don't know how the people work there. Like it was just, oh, whose order was this? Oh, what number are we up to? They were just all over the shop. Nothing like in Japan where it's all hey, 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 hey. Where there was structure. Here, there was lines for lines upon lines. Like it's one thing when you're paying to go in there and be like, okay, you have to go through all the things, you're expecting lines, whatever. But this one, you're paying such a high price just to be waiting in line for so long. And even just for when they were taking photos with the character, the lines were just going on and on. And I'm really suspicious that they purposely make some lines long so you have to purchase the express pass. Whereas the other, like in Japan and Hong Kong, you didn't need an express pass. You can just wait and it's no problem. But here, they were so long, it kind of forces you to think, oh gosh, I really should buy the express pass. And that brings me to my next thing, which is even inside the park, there's like always a place where you can like upgrade your ticket. Oh, there's always a place where there's some way you can upgrade. It's never just, okay, you just purchased your ticket and you're good to go. There's, oh, do you want to buy a timeshare? Oh, do you want to get an express pass? It's always like an upsell. and it feels like, okay, you're in there, but it's not enough. Like you still need to be getting more. And I really didn't like that feeling. Also, I don't know if I should mention this. There were so many mobility scooters, and I'm not saying anything as disabled people or anything, because most of these people weren't disabled. They were just hiring mobility scooters because they didn't want to walk around. And I get it. It was a huge park, but almost at every turn, I was getting run over with a mobility scooter. It was just a lot going on. But yes, that was Disneyland Orlando. And as I said, we did go to Animal Kingdom. Now, this was the smallest of the four parks in Orlando. And honestly, I like this one so much more. Maybe it was the jet lag, but it just wasn't so overwhelming. It was a jungle theme, animal themed. There was an avatar area, and there was like a safari ride. It was all really cute. And I think it was much more enjoyable than Magic Kingdom, but that's my daughter there with the like the jungle hat and the Mickey ears on top of it. Look, it was all really cute merch. I did enjoy that one. Would I fly that far again to experience it? No. I think Japan was is a really good park. I mean, I know it's still far for Australia, but for the price, for the value, and for like the quality, definitely that would be like definitely my first pick. And yeah, I've got my eye on a few other parks soon. We'll see how life goes, but for now, they are my parks. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe for more travel tips. If there was anything that I mentioned on this video, like perhaps like flights to anywhere, or trips anywhere that you would like me to elaborate on, or even tips around Disneyland, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Bye.